My name is Larry Reed. I'm the Sports Information Officer here at Thompson Rivers University, and on this segment of Meet the Wolfpack, we're going to talk baseball with veteran Mike Riddle with the Wolfpack baseball team. Mike, I know you're a young guy. When I call you a veteran, it kind of sounds different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of odd. You don't really realize how long you've really been here until you wake up and 4 years is gone like that. And I'm going in my 5th year, redshirting my first, so 5 years is just as fast. So yeah, it's surprising almost that it just catches up that fast on you. So,
what's been the highlight of the 5 years you've been with the baseball program?
It's pretty much just got to been the atmosphere of the team and going out and competing every day, and even just the 3 o'clock practices where you get to kick back and relax, just play some catch and watch some batting practice, and it's a great time. So.
Nice. You redshirted the first year. So when you look back at it, was it a good start to not only being a university student, but being introduced to collegiate baseball?
Yeah. It's had some injury problems. I was having up and down success, and once I had really bad tendonitis in my elbow right around season time. So it really taught me about being patient and taking a step back and being responsible with myself. And I think that's maturity is number one goal throughout your 4 or 5 years to gain, and it kind of sobered me quick with baseball and what I wanted to do. So.
Nice. So talk a little bit about that. How have you matured not only as a baseball player, skills-wise, but as a student as well?
I think it's really maturity really lies in with committing yourself. 6 a.m. practices. First semester you do it, it's terrible. Like, you do not want to go, and then as you realize everyone's going through it together, you realize you're helping them out, and maturity comes when you wake up to not for yourself but for the team, and to better yourself to better the team. And then with schooling, maturity comes with realizing that you're paying for the classes, you got to go there, and there's a means to an end behind everything.
Right. So what are you involved in now? What are you taking here at TRU?
I'm an English major, about a semester and a half from getting my BA, and then I want to go into teaching. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why teaching? Do you found you have an affinity with working with youngsters?
Yeah, my first job out of high school, I took a year off, was working with the city of Surrey running free sport programs, and I was dealing with elementary school kids all the time, running camps, running various classes, and yeah, it was a good time, and it was the only job I really enjoyed, and worked there for about a year, and actually got excited to go to work. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
And a good tie-in because we all do, the Wolfpack do a lot of community work, and baseball specifically, the clinics with the young kids.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Do you have a favorite story, or what's it like working with the youngsters?
The young kids are fun. It's good to see them coming out year after year, and I think the best thing is to see them come out to the 100-inning game when they get to compete with us.
Right.
And this year, Ray, our head coach's kid, Ty, his team came out and knew about half the faces from kids camps, and they were getting really competitive, and you're pitching to them, and next thing you know, you're getting thrown a little harder and harder trying to get them out, and yeah, it's just they're willing to compete. It's one of the funnest things to work with them.
Nice. And we should tell the folks, I think Ray's son like 12 years old or 11 years old or something like that?
Yeah, he's 11 or 12.
Wow. Yeah. So being competitive with 11-year-olds.
Oh yeah, it's a great time. They get under your skin because they got nothing to lose, and they just try to get in your head, and yeah, it's a good time.
Classic.
So, yeah.
But do you think you made a connection with some of those kids? And do you think that's maybe spurred on your desire to become a teacher?
Yeah, well, I think I've seen improvement because I did some coaching. When I go back, my dad's been a coach for 20-something years. And,
okay.
I've helped up with really young kids, and I think the number one goal is getting them coming back, especially at that age. So teach them the fun of the game and teach them that it's a good time, not just boot camp from the start. So. Yeah, as long as you get them coming back, it's the number one goal, I think, when they're young.
Do you feel like a role model?
Yeah, somewhat. Working with the younger pitchers and kind of having them come to me a couple times about working out or mechanics or just drills and mentality of the game. So, yeah, it's kind of throws me off guard every now and then, but it's interesting to say the least.
Nice. For people not familiar with the Kamloops situation and the Wolfpack, there's 5 radio stations here and a television station and the newspaper, and they follow you guys pretty intensely. What's it like being in the spotlight? And was that something that you, when you came here, did you have any idea about that, and how have you dealt with it?
I had no idea, and I didn't really get used to it until I think it's my first summer here when I was playing with the Kamloops Sun Devils when we were in Kibet, and it was the semifinals, and we're headed down in our ball gear, and guys were pulling over, waving to us, and people were talking to us, and Tim Hortons and Donut King, those areas, people were coming up to us, and I think that's the first taste I had, and I became more aware of it, and I've met people all over the place. Like back home, people are asking guys about guys on the team still when I wear my sweater around, and even slow pitch, I had 45-year-old guys asking, "Oh, do you know so-and-so?" And it's just a big network, I think, which is one of the most interesting things about this sport. So
nice. One of the special things I think about the baseball program specifically is the fact that you guys seem like a big family. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, the family dynamic, even in your first year, you have doubts, and especially 6 a.m.s or when you have struggle for a little bit, and you might not want to come back and kind of struggle, and then get a few guys picking you up, and the next thing you know, you start advancing, you start getting to the next level, and that's all just from other people supporting you, and especially during conditioning running, you're struggling in bed, but then you hear about 20 guys cheering you on, and kind of gives you a second wind. So, and anyone's willing to do anyone for, if you played here 1 year, 5 years, 2 years, it doesn't matter. If you're willing to step on the field with us, you're always part of the family.
Do you find, we were just talking a little bit about giving back to the younger kids, but do you find now that you're one of the older players, the veterans on this team this year, you're doing the same thing to the younger players that maybe 1 or 2 players when you were in your first year that were in their 4th or 5th kind of took you under their wing sort of thing?
Yeah, I had a couple of players. One was Aaron Leisting, a catcher, and when I had a bad game, he'd take me aside and kind of go over it with me and let me settle down and break it down in mental state and just pretty much basics rather than letting emotions take over. And then Ray's taken me aside a couple times. We had good conversations, and I started doing that, trying to notice those situations and talk to certain guys if they had a bad outing or if they're having a good outing, and trying to get them to realize the same things I did.
Right. Each of those Wolfpack teams have an arch rival, and for baseball, would it be PBA? Is that the team that you? Not that we despise any other, but when you get up, did you get up more for playing PBA than any of the other teams?
PBA is definitely probably the most competitive team we play. The level's always there, and the intensity is always there, and then there's always Okanagan College just because we play them so much, see them so much. It's more of just love-hate relationship with them, but PBA is definitely the team that we really get fired up for.
Nice. Do you have a favorite ballpark aside from Norbrook?
I don't mind. I like going to Okanagan. It's not bad, nice and close, and being a pitcher, I don't really like any of the Alberta places. The ball tends to fly out pretty easy. So
right. Is that because of the altitude or
that and the wind, especially in Lethbridge, just blows out.
Right.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
As a pitcher, what's your best pitch, and have you developed a repertoire of pitches over the 4 or 5 years you've been here?
Actually, recently this summer, me and Ray worked on my mechanics, and I dropped down to throwing about 3/4, almost sidearm now. So developed a really good slider, especially against lefties, and it's been my go-to. And having one random stat I keeping track with since the summer's a lefty hasn't got a hit off it yet. So I think that's my go-to, and it's my. Besides just spotting up my fastball, it's my #1 most confident pitch. So,
nice.
Yeah.
At the time we're doing this interview, it's just before the start of spring training. Tell especially the potential baseball players out there, what's so special about going to spring training in Arizona and California? I would think that's a big highlight.
Oh yeah, it's something like I've never experienced. We go all over the place. We used to go down to Compton in California and train at this great facility there, and then we'd sometimes go to spring training games, go to the compounds and meet some players, and then just the competition. It's great, especially in February, to be playing in 30-degree weather. And playing 12 games about 10 days, it really wears you down, but you really get the kind of professional atmosphere where we're just traveling and just pretty much have to find new levels of energy when you're just dead, drained, and sunburned to a crisp. So, yeah, it's definitely tests you, and I think about 90% of players come out better than before after the trip. So.
Nice. Just before I let you go, what words of advice would you have for someone who's considering coming to TRU to go to school and also to join Ray Chadwick in the baseball program?
Best advice I can give is be open to listening, because first time I came here, first time I met Ray, I wasn't even in university yet. He walked me through it and got me into university and pretty much set me up on a new chapter of my life. And so if you're willing to approach anyone and be dedicated to follow through with whatever you're offered, then this is the perfect place to go for you.
Mike Riddle joining us this time around on Meet the Wolfpack. Mike is a pitcher with the TRU Wolfpack baseball team.